this soda. Remy boys that know fast money don't slow. No one can control. And I got this.
Disgaea is one of my favorite tactical games. I have a deep love for this series, ever since I discovered Disgaea 1 back in the day. Disgaea 1 was my first ever tactical game, and it wasn't the best idea to start off with that game. Disgaea games tend to throw a lot at you with its many gameplay features, like geoblocks, geoplanos, character and item worlds so you can dive into and make characters stronger. And boy oh boy can you make your characters stronger. Damage output and stats that land in the millions, and enemy HP can go into the billions. The level cap in Disgaea games are 9,999, but it doesn't end there. Oh no, not by a long shot. Reincarnating characters, starting them at level 1 again and then leveling them back up to the level cap will net them even better stats. And then there's aptitudes, and then statisticians for item worlds, and you know what, TLDR, there's a lot of stuff going on in Disgaea games that someone new to tactical games should be a little bit cautious when diving into them. But since at the time of playing Disgaea 1 on PS2 I had a crap ton of time on my hands, I decided to play the games and I have been in love with them ever since. Boy did it take a while for me to understand everything. I got into the Disgaea game so much to a point of finally beating Disgaea's most powerful reoccurring super boss, Bale, that just requires at least 50 hours of post-game grounding to even enter the fight, because as soon as you land on a challenge map, he bombards you for millions of damage. But you know, it was nothing for me. You know the type of player I am. Okay, they're good. Now go after the ball bit. Kill it! No! You guys suck! You guys suck so much. Oh my god. Why? 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 Woo! Woo-hoo! There we go. Anyway, it has come to my attention, because I had a random sudden thought, I have not played a Disgaea game in a long time. In fact, the last time we got a mainline Disgaea game was released was years ago. My question is, where is the next Disgaea game? So as I said, the last Disgaea game we got was Disgaea 5, and that was released in 2015. Since then, we have gotten a lot of re-releases with the likes of Disgaea 1 Complete, Disgaea 4 Complete, and Disgaea 5 Complete, which are good for people who are just getting into the series. They can have all the DLC included with the game and not have to buy them all in packs like I did. You know, I'm totally not salty about that. And with the release of those games, that should, quote unquote, be the end of the re-release train, because Disgaea 2 had its complete version kind of with Dark Hero Days released on PSP and later on PC, and then Disgaea 3 had Absence of Detention released on PlayStation Vita. What happened to the PlayStation Vita again? And now technically they could still release complete versions of Disgaea 2 and 3, but I think if they did that, they would have to be updated with high-res sprites. Those two games still use low-res sprites, and if you want Disgaea to sell at all, you're going to need that. So unless they are willing to go back and put in the work to update the sprites to those two games, I don't think we're ever going to see Disgaea 2 and 3 complete. But hey, never say never. So what happened? Usually we get a new game in this series at least 3 years after a major release, but it's been some time since Disgaea 5 was initially released, and we don't seem to be having Disgaea 6 anywhere in sight for the time being. In 2018, there was confirmation that the game was in development, but in the very early stages, and since then we haven't gotten a formal announcement about the game. But I would think if a game was in the early stages of development about 2 years ago, we should have something by now. Right, Shin Megami Tensei 5? But NIS has been in financial trouble for a while now, so it's no wonder they have to re-release the Disgaea games to recoup. Actually, now that I think about it, NIS has always been in financial trouble, and they always need to pump out games in order to stay afloat. And Disgaea 5 Complete sold a good amount on the Switch, probably because it was one of the very few JRPGs and just anime-esque games on the platform at the time. And it didn't help with the disastrous release of Disgaea RPG, a gacha mobile game only in Japan. The game had such a poor launch, they had to pull the game from the App Store and spend several months fixing it. And it was pretty much because of the amount of overseas logins. and that whole debacle hurt the company badly at the time, but since then, they've been able to turn around and the game seems to have been decent thus far. It should be said that the Disgaea series is NIS' top selling series, and for a company like NIS, it's a lot to develop, making all the sprites for each characters and making their insane over-the-top attacks for each one is no walk in the park, I imagine. So it could be that they are taking their sweet time and really trying to make the game great. I just hope that Disgaea never goes 3D because it being 2D really gives it personality and stands it out from the pack, although it might be easier to make 3D models as opposed to 2D. And NIS have been bringing out games lately, but I don't believe they had any major releases that they have developed themselves for almost a year now. The last one was Labyrinth of Refrain, and that was released in 2018. And its follow-up game, Labyrinth of Galleria, has had 2 delays from its spring 2019 release window to now being delayed indefinitely. And the company said that they delayed the title for quality assurance, but what game company doesn't say that they are delaying a game to make it better nowadays? It's the go-to reason, and really one you can't argue against. Either way, I hope Disgaea 6 is developing nicely, and I hope most of their energy when it comes to Disgaea isn't in the mobile gacha game Disgaea RPG, but I've seen a fair amount of companies go to the gacha game space and almost never return because the amount of money mobile games drown in nowadays is insane. Anyway, that is it for this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, of course, if you're new to the channel. Turn on notifications so you know when I'm uploading a video. And guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.